All right, you and I are diving into a story where a simple high school confession changes everything. Taking a massive breath, he finally spills his secret. He has been crushing on her since the very first day of class. His feelings have never wavered. Blown away by his total honesty, she stays quiet, hiding her face in the silence. He looks down at his shoes, nervous for an answer, while taking quick little glances at her. He starts to apologize for being awkward, but she stops him. She looks him in the eye and calls him super sweet. You are thoughtful and we vibe well. Why would I ever hate a guy like you? Her voice trails off as the scene shifts to the courts. Near the hoops, students are playing while one guy stands alone. His best friend walks up to get the gossip. The boy just brushes past him, muttering to just drop it. His buddy puts an arm around him, looking ready to cry, as if he already saw this rejection coming. She used the study excuse, but his friend calls cap. He has literally never seen her study. Now watch this part carefully, because a random soccer ball is about to fly at them like a literal missile. In a blur, he snatches the ball. The other players are shocked by his insane reflexes while he stares at his own hands. His friend thinks he is a total mystery. You do not even hate sports, do you? You are a natural-born athlete. Plus, your daily diet is basically a strict military meal plan. If people worked half as hard as you, everyone would be shredded. His buddy suggests a doctor, but he already went. So what did the doctor say? He explains it is just bad luck in his DNA. Back home, he sighs in solitude. He glares at old portraits, whispering the word genetics like it is a cursed spell. If only that were true. Holding his parents' photo, he wishes he could just give up and quit trying. He traces his mother's face, admiring her beauty in the dusty picture. He never met his father, but the legends are still alive. Back in the day, his father was a legendary Korean warrior, before his career was suddenly cut short. His stats were off the charts. Apparently, the man was naturally ripped without even stepping foot inside a gym. Today was a mess. Turning around with new fire, he decides enough is enough. He ignites the stove and dumps his diet. He raids the fridge for real food after years of zero progress. He will binge eat before the stress kills his spirit. Okay, I know what you are thinking, but check out his insane willpower right here in the kitchen. He grips the wrapper, but his iron will wins. His dinner is just one sad tomato eaten with robotic discipline. Despite the agony, he refuses to slacken his pace. He checks his stats mid-sprint, tracking every grueling mile. Thinking of her, he roars that he will never back down. Gasping for air, his screen glows with a new personal best. He is finally breaking through his own limits. He wheezes, scanning the streets. He realizes he is totally lost. He pulls up a map when a mysterious voice echoes from above. You are pretty quick, kid, the voice says. Must be something special in those veins. Suddenly, an old man dives from the shadows, shaking the very ground. Flattened on the asphalt, the boy frantically checks if the elder is okay. Everyone meet the legendary Mangtai. He drops a bombshell. He is the supreme judge of this entire realm, and he hunts every demon in Korea. He smirks at the boy's confusion. Grabbing his collar, the old man decides to show him. In one smooth motion, he tosses the boy onto a mystical fabric and snaps his cloak shut. Reality shatters. Dropping to his knees, the boy witnesses a world straight out of his darkest nightmares. He looks up as a surreal world is revealed. Mangtai welcomes him to the demon realm. Take it all in. Twisted creatures swarm the land. They are this realm's masters. Once humans worshipped them, now they are myths. Every 606 years, the status quo shifts. A massive festival is held to crown a new king. Every species must send their strongest youth to compete. We look back to a legendary king who ruled everything. We see his terrifying shadow. The boy snaps at him to stop. So you and I better get ready. Every species needs a champion. All right, stick with me because this boy is actually the sole heir to an extinct goblin bloodline. He is just a few steps away from the source. Terrified, the boy tries to run from his destiny. Wrong guy, he stammers, but then he flinches. Something massive is screaming through the air toward him. Boom. A giant beast slams into the earth right in front of him. Paralyzed with fear, he hears Mangtai call it a test. The monster growls at the old man, telling him to keep his end of the bargain. Mangtai just nods. If the beast wins today, the reward is set. The prize he gets to devour the poor kid. The creature licks its chops, eager for a taste of fresh blood. As it lunges, the boy hits the deck, but he is way too slow. The monster leaps, winding up a punch that connects squarely, sending the kid flying like a helpless rag doll. He is hurled through the sky and slammed into the dirt with bone-shattering force. The impact is absolutely brutal. A crater forms where he landed. From the dust, the monster sneers that no mere human belongs in their sacred festival. Mangtai's voice is cold as ice. Prove you are worth something or die. The boy cries out in agony, barely conscious. Above him, the monster's shadow looms large, ready to go for the kill. With terrifying speed, the beast grabs him and slams him down again. It's surprised the kid hasn't snapped yet. "I like my meat tender," it snarls. Raising a massive claw, the monster prepares to finish the job. It lunges forward, mouth wide open, ready to crush him. The ground explodes, kicking up a massive screen of dust. Mengtai watches the carnage without blinking. The monster goes berserk, repeatedly hammering the crater in a blind rage. But when the dust clears, he's gone. "You saw that right? The kid is literally standing on the monster's arm." Mengtai smirks. Goblins weren't just strong. Their combat skills were practically infinite and totally unpredictable. The boy rips his jacket open, his body surging with incredible power. He holds the monster's limb over his head. Pure instinct. They don't learn to fight. They just play the game of war naturally. Techniques are etched into his DNA. Channeling every ounce of goblin strength, he prepares to strike back. He actually lifts the giant's arm, straining under the weight as he finds his opening for an incredible move. Using traditional goblin wrestling, he flips the beast and slams it into the earth with earth-shattering power. The impact triggers a massive shockwave, hiding the entire battlefield in grit and dust. Standing over his foe, he looks different. The energy has shifted. He gasps for air drained from the insane physical feat. The truth is out. He is half goblin. Suddenly, the scene shifts. He is back in reality outside a shop. His friend pops out asking how that story ended. Sipping his juice, the boy sighs. Nothing happened. He tells his friend it just ended there. It was all just a weird, hyper-realistic fever dream. He insists it wasn't even cool because he got his butt kicked, but his friend thinks dreams reflect reality, right? His friend reminds him that he's never been a fighter, so where did that skill come from? The boy admits it felt like he had known those moves forever. He even claims he could do it again right now. His friend laughs. The boy just shrugs and crushes his empty juice box. He figures it is just stress. But get this, you and I are about to see that he wasn't dreaming. His muscles start surging again. Panic hits as he stares at his new monstrous reflection. Suddenly a mysterious voice calls to him. Spinning around, he finds himself face to face with a man and a girl. Mengtai says he had just blacked out. Looking around, the cold reality hits him hard. This is no dream. With a battered face, he surveys the strange world around him. Nearby, the beast he just fought remains completely crushed. He watches as the creature writhes on the ground, letting out agonizing screams of pain. Slumped on the dirt, he wonders how he will get home. From a distance, Mengtai asks the girl for her honest take. She scoffs, calling him a massive letdown. To her, humans are just pathetic, foolish creatures. She then questions Mengtai about the goblin blood. He argues she saw his skills. Glaring at the beast, she calls his moves raw brute force. She says he barely scraped by. The boy interrupts, claiming he has finally proven his worth. He just wants to know if he can leave now. Fixing his gaze on him, Mengtai prepares to deliver his final verdict on this twisted turn of events. And that is where we leave it. You and I just saw a beast get downed in one shot. Alright, stick with me because you and I are about to witness the return of some legendary goblin descendants. He struggles to catch his breath after that encounter. As he gasps, Mungai slowly closes the gap between them. Walking into the arena, he slams his staff down for a final decree. Pointing at the boy, he formally brands him a demon. The kid gasps while Mengtai asks for any objections. With the verdict locked, he orders the news sent across the peninsula. The demon world is buzzing over a goblin sighting. Mengtai explains this title is actually his shield. No one can lay a hand on him without a reason. Still in shock, the boy asks to leave, but the girl calls him an idiot for not realizing he's a demon. Crossing her arms, she says returning home is impossible. He begs Mungai, swearing he is just an ordinary guy who never caused trouble. Mungai sees the kid doesn't get his new life. To make a point, he threatens to kill him right now to end the mess. Feeling the sudden killing intent, the boy leaps back to put some space between them. Confused, he demands to know what's happening. Shocked by the distance, he realizes he jumped way farther than any human could. He stares back. Pay attention here because his true potential is finally waking up right now. On his knees, he learns his body is demonic. Mungai explains that as an elite goblin, he's 10 times more powerful. According to him, a mortal frame would have been crushed by such energy. Hearing this, he listens as Mungtai mentions a 6-month wait. The 500-year law was forged by the king. Flashback to 66 years ago, a man flees through a dark forest. Back then, demons roamed the human world freely. Running through the woods, the man trips with zero hope. On the ground, he shakes in terror as a nightmare emerges. A massive centipede appears, turning its hungry gaze toward the prey. With no escape, the man breaks down in total despair. Suddenly, another demon steps in. Legend says some demons were friendly protectors. Still, the man was completely paralyzed by his own fear. For 666 years, humans both feared and worshipped them. The new demon king hated that dynamic. He made a law strictly forbidding demons from hurting humans. Humanity soon forgot them, seeing demons as mere fairy tales. But Mungai warns the peace is ending as the king faces a coup. Trust me, you and I both know an invasion like this is never good news for anyone. Hungry for answers, he asks where to master his powers. He wonders how strong he'll be among the others. Seeing his resolve, Mungai asks what changed. Answering him, he vows to keep his people safe with his mother and best friend in mind. He knows he must be their guardian. Imtai notes his blood is powerful enough to protect them all. He suggests that as king he could change the laws. The girl scoffs, doubting he'll survive the festival. Almost forgetting his manners, Mungai apologizes for the late introduction between the two of them. Introduced as Siola, she says it doesn't matter since they won't meet again. She then reminds Imtai of his promise. Monte lays out the rules for her trial. Her heart is set on finally reaching the human realm once more. Dazed, the boy recalls his task. She huffs, begging him to hurry, while complaining about this annoying exam. She brags about outclassing most demons. He nods, but reminds her that raw power needs ironclad patience and discipline. She grumbles that she gets it, praying this isn't just another stall tactic. As she stomps off, he snaps that there's no time for mood swings. The festival is looming, so it is trial time. Explaining the scheme, he points to the boy as her golden ticket. Horrified, she begs him to stop speaking. 1 month. That is all she gets to teach the kid the basics of demonhood. You have to be joking. She screams at the top of her lungs, gesturing at the kid with a look of pure disbelief. Teaching him anything in 30 days is a pipe dream. Unfazed, he delivers his final ultimatum. Decline, and she is stuck. She scoffs that 1 month or 6, this student is a lost cause anyway. He warns her, leaving the choice in her hands. Suddenly, a rift tears open and Monty vanishes into the portal. She turns ready to ask a question. She already knows the kid is totally clueless. Got any idea what demonic energy even is? She asks with a weary sigh. Of course you don't. Suddenly his pupils dilate as a dark shadow looms behind her. The beast from before has suddenly reappeared. The beast growls the kid is his. You and I see this nightmare starting now. Stick with me, this brawl is just getting started. Sewa sneers. What is your deal? She mocks him, stepping right into his personal space. She calls his family trash. Shaking with rage, the beast glares back, failing his own anger. The creature lunges with lethal intent, and just like that, the chaos reignites. While they fight, we get a dive into demon lore. Humans are basic, but demons are defined by their unique species and ancient ancestral bloodlines. Talent and power create a brutal pecking order. With the goblins gone, the top spot is wide open. She looks at the frozen monster and tilts her head. Something wrong, big guy, she taunts him. Grinning, she flexes her tail and drops the name of the demon world top predator. Sewa wants all the smoke. Suddenly, Big Mouth appears right behind her like a bad dream. He is tied up in glowing magic chains. Shu watches the madness with his jaw on the floor. He realizes that panicking is totally useless now. She turns to the boy, eyes sharp and ready to drop some knowledge. She asks if he is watching. She explains how demonic magic works. It is the fuel that burns through your inner energy. The lesson begins. Pay attention here because magic comes in 2 flavors, the kind you are born with, and the hardwired instincts you earn through intense, brutal demon combat. Any demon can master the earned kind with enough hard work. She points at Big Mouth, the poster child for laziness. She sneers at his lack of discipline, calling him trash. Education time, she says. First, a reality check. Her eyes go cold as she admits she hates wasting time. Just quit now, she suggests. This climb might be too steep for a weak former human like him. Shu snaps back, promising to crawl through hell just to keep up with her brutal training style. His grit is real. He demands to learn and tells her to stop babysitting. She actually cracks a smirk. Slim odds are better than 0, she admits. First step to being a monster. We eat. Sue is confused. She drops a truth bomb, no spells, without demon fuel. Everyone here is overflowing with it, but his tank is bone dry and running on fumes. Power usually builds up over time, but he is a total rookie. Human snacks won't refill his tank. Mortal food is garbage for demons. You starving yet? She mocks him after that fight. Seu shakes his head, claiming he is fine. Suddenly, a violent shock hits his chest, stopping him in his tracks. You and I can see the agony in his eyes. He stares down at his own shaking hands. They are trembling uncontrollably. Siola reminds him of what she said. He is running on empty. That last strike drained every drop of essence he had. She says it is just a classic case of mana burnout. Offering a simple fix, she catches Seo Choi mid-fall and points at the demon with a chilling question. With a wicked grin, she reveals the brutal laws of these official demon duels. The winner takes the loser's life. Her command, devour it to refill your core energy right now. She claims those big mouth variants are the perfect snacks for an instinctual recharge. Seo Choi stalks toward his prey, gripped by a terrifying primal hunger for the first time. Seo Hwa watches his glowing red eyes, knowing she ignited this craving. Only hunger remains. He drifts toward the beast, looking eerily calm. Suddenly, the goblin greed inside him finds a much more delicious and tempting target. Seo Hwa freezes. She is the target. Seo Choi explodes forward with lethal high-speed intent. Stunned by the betrayal, Seo Hwa calls it insane while weaving a defensive spell. She summons spectral chains, triggering a massive energy blast that rocks the whole battlefield. As the smoke clears, she watches, seeing her chains successfully holding back his aggressive advance. Sneering, she calls it pure audacity for a mere half-demon to try and hunt her. Bound but unbroken, Seo Choi glares back with a gaze that screams he is not finished yet. She vows to teach him his place as the chains tighten. The links start fracturing. Shocked, she realizes he is overpowering her one tail power. With a roar of pure strength, he shatters the chains and rockets forward again. His fist craters the ground right beside her. "I got the message loud and clear," he growls. Grabbing her finger, he challenges what she thinks of his goblin blood. She admits he is right. She recoils and prepares her trump card, summoning the legendary Demon Emperor. The opening move is a massive fist falling from the heavens with absolute tectonic force. And that is where you and I leave him, facing a massive shadow looming directly over him. Alright, you and I are diving into a fight where the impact hits like a meteor, burying everything in dust. He braces for the shockwave as the blast swallows everything, even that poor monster trapped right next to him. Another massive mana explosion erupts, and as the smoke clears, we have to wonder, did she go way too far? Seeing his silhouette through the haze, she sighs. He brought this on himself, yet Seo Choi is still standing. Seo Hwa didn't expect much, but things are shifting now. This definitely wasn't just a lucky break. Seo Choi just tapped into ancient magic that's been lost for ages. Even the top goblins can't touch this power. It starts surging right in his hands. Pure energy forms in his palm as he clenches his fist, shattering every limit. His broken symbol transforms into a massive combat club. He turns around looking like a totally new lethal threat. A powerful half-breed. She realizes he is now wielding the ultimate dark magic weapon of the Goblin Kings. Seo Hwa is a total prodigy with terrifying demonic talent. She mastered the Nine Tails technique almost instantly. Now pay attention because her instincts are screaming. A weapon unseen for centuries is here, but her confidence remains icy. She thinks her mana is top tier, but the pressure coming off him is unlike anything seen before. Seo Choi takes one heavy step forward, and that's the signal the big counterattack is finally starting. His presence is so heavy it shocks her. Then boom, he blurs forward with a savage, crushing swing. His blow literally shatters the earth, causing an explosion of dust and debris as the entire floor just disintegrates. Finding her footing, she steals her resolve. "Not bad," she mutters under her breath while getting back into position. Out of nowhere, a giant fist blocks his strike. Seo Choi is stunned as his weapon gets pinned by a titan. Smirking, Seo Hwa declares that it is finally her turn now. That giant hand crushes his club. He fights back, but the momentum just flings him helplessly high into the sky. A massive fist punches him upward before slamming his broken body back into the dirt with absolutely terrifying force. While falling, he sees her wearing a smug grin. She's totally sure that her strike was a perfect finished blow. But an energy tether yanks him back, dragging him through the dirt as the link slams him down. You and I can see it, he is still defiant. One hit clearly won't break his spirit. She is going to have to beat him into total submission now. The giant hand tightens its grip for a follow-up strike. The weapon spins in a blur, unleashing a devastating wave of energy. All of a sudden, her eyes go wide with pure shock. Something is very, very wrong here. As the smoke clears, his shadow emerges from the haze. He is standing tall and looks completely unbroken. He actually caught that club bare-handed. She wonders if this kid has strength that rivals the great emperor himself. Even then, the giant fist crushes the weapon. He just pivots, coiling his muscles like a powerful tight spring. He lets out a ferocious circular swing. In a panic, the giant palm lunges to grab the tip of his weapon. The club pulses and shifts, changing to match his murderous intent. This is exactly how the goblins once ruled the world. With a cold, piercing stare, he locks onto his target and channels every bit of power into his next move. Witness Metamorph, the weapon of endless forms. It just turned into a massive pillar of pure raw destruction. He swings the heavy steel straight into the giant fist. Watching him change, she realizes reading his moves is impossible now. This is more than just raw brute power. The crazy precision he uses to control his demonic energy leaves her floored. One mistake here would be a death sentence. The beast tightens its grip, gathering every bit of strength for one final soul-crushing punch. Xiao Hua's expression turns stone cold. To end this madness, once and for all, she knows she has to crush him into the dirt. Two giant hands erupt from the void, swiping at Xiao Choi from every angle in a non-stop frenzied assault. He grabs a massive limb trying to steady himself, but the barrage keeps battering his body. No amateur could survive this. He is definitely built different. The legends about goblin kings ruling over demons, yeah, they were all true. Still, she thinks the boy has reached his limit. This duel has gone on long enough she can see it in his eyes. His demonic energy is finally hitting rock bottom. At this rate, his own massive power will just tear his body apart. With a weary sigh, she plays her final card as he surges forward, forcing her hand. Before things get lethal, Xiao lunges, aiming a desperate counter-strike right at the arm. She was going to use her powers, but trust me, you and I need to see her next move. Alright, you and I are diving into a moment where she stops playing nice. She pulls out 5 whole tails and swings a massive energy blade, admitting he is the first human to make her try this hard. Suddenly, the massive demon emperor appears. Xiao Choi grips his sword tight, staring up at the titan. With a sudden burst of speed, he leaps aside, dodging the massive overhead strike. The demon emperor spins that giant blade with terrifying power, slamming it into the ground like a falling star and shattering the earth. Following with a brutal cut, the creature unleashes a wave of pure devastation. The strike hits home, launching Xiao Choi across the wasteland, while the emperor stands completely still. A giant crater splits the field. As the beast waits for orders, Xiao Choi gasps for air. His strength is totally gone. Collapsed in the dirt, he realizes any hope of a comeback has officially vanished. He hears her mocking him through the haze. His muscles are locking up the price for his defiance. She grumbles about a scolding from Mong Tai, but as she turns to leave, the atmosphere suddenly shifts behind her. Xiao Choi is broken on the floor, sobbing for his mother. Her playful mask falls away, replaced by a cold, deadly serious gaze. Slowly, she reaches out her hand toward the crying boy. Now pay attention to this part, it's not the kind of help you'd expect. She flicks her wrist, making Xiao Choi's body float, while she performs some intricate hand signs. She moves in closer, cupping his face with a surprisingly gentle touch. Locking eyes, she leans in and kisses him, transferring a mysterious power into him before pulling away. She backs up and spits on the ground in disgust. The surge was too much for Xiao Choi, and he instantly passes out cold. She burned through 5 tails and the fox gem for that. "You'd better pay me back," she warns him. His eyes flutter open to light flooding an unfamiliar room. Groggily, he sits up. This definitely isn't his bed. He scans the area, his mind a blur of fuzzy memories and that crushing defeat. The door creaks open, letting the light in. Xiaolhua steps through the doorway, her presence filling the entire space. Carrying a tray, she stares him down with a dead, serious expression. He just gives her a stiff, nervous grin. Xiao Choi looks at the bowl, a lot of hesitation creeping in. Keeping his head low, he breaks the silence with a heavy apology, admitting that every memory has finally flooded back. He was awake, but had zero control over those wild actions. He bows deeply. He feels terrible for putting her life at risk after she was so kind. She brushes it off, telling him to drink. Stunned, he looks at the murky black liquid and asks what her game is. She pressures him to chug it down while it is still hot. He takes the bowl, wondering if it's medicine. After a pause, he takes a gulp, his face twisting from the intense bitterness. She warns him that if he spits it out, he's dead. When he asks what's in it, she gives no answers and tells him to focus. Then she starts dropping some major truth bombs. "You saw that fight too, right?" She says he dropped something vital during the chaos, that big mouth monster. It ran away during the fight, but she warns him that he's still its master. The beast is currently hiding out somewhere. Wiping his mouth, he hears her say he passed up a free feast. He insists there has to be another way. Grinning, she reminds him his humanity is gone. He argues that the thought of killing and eating people is a total nightmare. But he realizes these monsters will cause total chaos if nobody stops them. Determined, he vows to hunt and eat them if it saves others, though he's still looking for a cleaner path. She tells him the fastest way to power is devouring fellow demons, but laws actually protect the weak from being eaten by the strong. Xiaolhua warns him that the easy targets are all gone now. His reputation has already spread across the demon realm. The weaklings are going to avoid him like the plague. Only the heavy hitters will challenge him now. She bluntly tells him that right now he's just too weak. Standing up, she says a small boost is better than nothing. She calls him over, promising a special gift before leading him out. They reach the courtyard of the massive estate. Looking at the scene, he asks if this gift is some kind of joke. A chained monster thrashes wildly while she smirks. Shocked, he asks if that terrifying creature is actually a demon. She confirms it. As the shackled beast snarls, she notes it has given up all its dignity. Grinning, she explains that some demons snap and lose their minds, committing acts that can never be undone. You and I just witnessed a heavy reveal. She calls them mindless beasts and eggs him on from the roof. All right, stick with me for a fight where the monster is actually the one in trouble. The beast throws a massive punch right at him, but Seo Choi slips past like a pro. He is catching his breath while shaking off the shock, waiting for the next onslaught. Seeing him move like that, she admits his reflexes are way sharper than she ever would have guessed. She explains this thing used to be a legend, before greed took over completely. His energy went wild, turning him into the mindless creature we are seeing right now. The monster lunges with claws out, but Seo Choi rolls away, just in time to reset his distance. He is locked in now, watching the beast's every move. It charges again, jaws snapping with lethal force. Watching from the side, she notices the beast has not even touched its weapon yet. Despite that massive power boost, he is not going down easy. She is pushing him to find his survival instincts. He drops into a low stance, ready to meet the monster head-on. Now pay attention here, because his next move is something nobody saw coming, leaving everyone watching completely stunned. He charges in with a flurry of punches, remembering his old coach, praising his insane reaction speed. His coach once asked if he would ever consider turning pro, but Seo joked he would think about it after shedding some pounds. The coach was not kidding though, saying he was already ready for the big tournaments. That inspiration stuck. He hoped boxing would burn the fat. Now he is slipping another punch in real time. He is not here for glory or power. He is just laser focused on landing every single strike perfectly. He is just a guy desperate to lose weight at any cost. Failure happened often, but he never quit. Gritting his teeth, he lands a massive kick on the beast. This was not luck at all. He has mastered 16 different sports, and 7 of those were actually deadly styles of martial arts. Even with minimal training and zero weight loss, his technique is still absolutely flawless. His hidden bloodline, mixed with pure obsession, makes him a whirlwind. He is a total master of 7 different styles. He delivers a final strike to the jaw. She's left watching the impossible happen right before her eyes. The impact is massive. The beast's legs give out as it crashes into the dirt, totally broken. You saw that, right? Our hero just won, and now he is honestly worried about how to eat this thing. He stands over the defeated monster lungs, burning, while she wonders if those were really human techniques. She knows human arts aren't meant for demon strength, yet he is using his new body like a seasoned veteran. Maybe there is actually hope for him after all. He thinks it is over, but did she mean eating it literally? She just smirks, clearly trolling his innocent question. Then she gets serious. The hunt is not over. Suddenly, the beast lunges out of the shadows. Its teeth sink into his shoulder. He roars in pain, trying to shake the savage monster off. Blood sprays everywhere as the monster tears at his arm with nothing but pure primal fury. The beast swallows a piece of him, smiling like a demon. Seo Choi collapses on the ground. His scream fills the night as he realizes he is completely paralyzed by the shock of the ambush. A huge impact sends him flying like a ragdoll. She watches, confused why he is not fighting back. He lies there, broken, overwhelmed by the fear. It was not just pain, but the terror of losing everything. His body will not stop shaking. Sensing his panic, the beast bellows a blood-curdling roar, ready to finish him. But then his shoulder starts healing. The beast attacks again, its claws flashing in the dark like razors. He barely dodges, but the monster's talons still leave deep gouges across his chest as he retreats. He watches in total awe as the wounds vanish instantly. The monster strikes again, confused by his immortality. Feeling his own strength returning, Seo Choi finally finds his second wind. His confidence shifts the whole mood of the fight. He realizes wounds do not matter unless his heart stops. With a roar, he lets loose. His energy explodes, leaving the beast trembling at his sudden and terrifying transformation. He lands a thunderous punch, joking that his arm almost snapped off. He looks at the broken monster. Since it heals too, he decides it is finally time to end this. And that is that. You and I just witnessed a legend being born, and trust me, it is just starting. Alright, you and I are about to see if our guy can handle his first taste of real power. She explains he used that energy to heal, and infused his hit with demonic force. It felt like a spark, he admits. She confirms it. That was his demonic core waking up, but he is still a total rookie. This trial was built to force his inner strength out. Seeing the cobalt beast, she calls him a prodigy. She expected this to take a week. He just scratches his head, embarrassed. Now she approaches him for the final blow. Her eyes lock onto his. Has he ever taken a life? That question hits him like a freight train. He has never crossed that line. She warns him that a quick end is a mercy. Aim for the navel. She commands. The first kill always leaves a scar. Stepping forward, he gets ready to deliver the killing blow. He stares down the monster. To grow, he must end its life and take its essence for himself. He gathers strength for the deed. Memories flash by, laughing with a friend and standing beside his mother. Watch closely here, because this is the exact moment his old life officially ends as he finishes the beast. You should feel the essence flowing into your palms now. There it is, that energy crystal she mentioned. Without thinking twice, he tosses it back and swallows it whole. He braces for the power to surge in. Looking at his hands, he whispers, "I actually ate it. Nothing." Then a tiny crow lands right on his shoulder. What he shrieks and jumps out of his skin. He tries to swat the bird away, but it takes flight with a loud flap. Midair, the creature shifts. A girl suddenly stands before Suchoi and Siola. "What are you doing here?" Siola snaps, clearly annoyed by her arrival. "Do friends need a reason?" she teases. Then her tone shifts. "Actually, I am here on some pretty heavy business. She is Solmi. She asks if he is really the half-goblin." Suchoi bows politely, while Siola keeps a close eye on them. Solmi explains she is a freelancer for Mangtai. Her mission is to deliver the hard-earned reward they deserve. Regarding the Cobalt hunt, Siola insists Suchoi takes it all. After all, he took it down solo. Solmi says she saw everything and was impressed. "You might actually be a real threat," she muses. Solmi just smiles. "Sorry, girl, but I have to disagree with you there. Now, I know what you are thinking. Take the easy way out, right? Well, think again. He has two very big choices." Next scene. Dawn breaks over the school. Suchoi walks in, and his phone buzzes with a friend checking in. Everything is fine, Suchoi lies. His friend is baffled, but then Suchoi asks for a huge favor. It sounds crazy, but his buddy says to just spill it. "You are the only one I trust." The request leaves his friend stunned. "What are you even talking about? Where are you right now?" "Tell my mom I am at a center," Suchoi pleads. He knows the place and begs for help. With a sigh, his friend agrees, even if it feels fishy. "I will help, but you owe me a real explanation." Suddenly, Suchoi spots Solmi. She puts a finger to her lips, telling him to keep his mouth shut. Silence is mandatory. If he leaks their existence, she is toast. On the phone, his friend finally caves in. "Call me if things go south," his buddy says. Suchoi hangs up, ending the talk. Staring at his screen, the friend cannot shake the feeling that something is seriously wrong with Suchoi. Suchoi exhales while Solmi watches him. "So can I go home now?" Solmi confirms he is spot on. "I was not lying," but then Siola cuts in coldly. She offers a ticket back to humanity. Her gaze is sharp, demanding a decision. He declines. He will return in 1 month after the test. "If I do not grind now, I am finished." That last battle was a massive wake-up call. He needs to evolve before something terrifying hunts him. His fist clenches. "I need power to survive." He chooses the path of the demon. Solmi gives a thumbs up, but Siola just groans at him. Quit baiting him with fake choices. She then reveals the truth behind Solmi's little game. Solmi loves testing people. Guilty. It was just a vibe check. She wanted to see his mettle. She teases Siola for never reading the book. Siola snaps back. "That theory was trash. I wrote it." Solmi just laughs. "I am borrowing him for a second." Suchoi is lost as to why. Solmi grins and massive crow wings explode from her back. Feathers rain down while Suchoi just freezes. He watches her transform into a legendary magpie demon. "Trust me, you and I need to see what comes next." Alright, you and I are about to see how world hopping works, nauseating side effects and all. Solmi is pretty chill about it though. That massive bird bids them farewell before taking flight to the other side. He hands back the phone, thanking her for the call. While relaxing, she asks if he misses his family at all. It is just him and his mom, but she is away, so Solmi offers to cook some dinner. "You hungry?" He is down to try something new. He asks what special meal she has planned while standing up to help out. Fresh ingredients hit the board as the kitchen gets busy. Before long, we see the results of their cooking session. It is a total feast. He digs in, admitting it is a makeshift spread, but she is absolutely loving it. She has been craving human food forever. Then she drops a major bomb. They are going to be schoolmates starting now. He almost chokes on his food. She mentions totally casually that she has 0 friends to hang with anyway. After dinner, she is super polite about the meal, calling the whole experience absolute fire for her taste buds. She snaps her fingers prize time. She pulls out a mystical scroll, calling it a spatial storage unit. It unrolls into a high-tech interface. She scrolls through her inventory, getting ready to pull something big out. With a flourish, she yanks out a heavy wooden chest. After a quick inventory tutorial, she hands it over. Watch closely, this thing has some seriously broken hidden features. Inside are ancient coins, scrolls, and a mysterious pouch. She grins, identifying the loot as currency from the demon realm. He learns these coins are worth a massive fortune. Finally, she reveals the pouch, which is a legendary demonic treasure. This artifact is packed with supernatural powers. It is the kind of stuff you only see in legends. She is betting big on him. Is this all for that massive coronation tournament to find the next demon king? Somi admits national pride is on the line. A Korean demon king would be a total flex for them. She mentions a previous contender who almost took the throne, but that legend failed at the very last second. He was a Dekebi, the strongest goblin ever, gripping the treasure he reels. Yesterday, he was just a normal guy. If this is a dream, he is ready to wake up. But it is real. Stealing his resolve, he vows to reach the top. The choice is made. Seeing his worry for humans, she just smirks at him. She suggests he just become the demon king to protect everyone, ruling as the supreme judge for 600 years. That is a huge commitment. 66 years included. She invites questions, so he points toward a random scroll nearby and asks what it is. I know what you're thinking, and yeah, her face going pale, that's a red demonic SOS signal. A rogue demon is breaking the laws and causing total chaos. Humans are being targeted right now. This hasn't happened in the mortal realm for decades. Her face loses all color as the scary truth hits her. Looking out the window, she screams. The danger isn't just close, it is right on their doorstep. They stare at the scroll in total disbelief as moonlight hits the city. With a quick snap, a spark of magic ignites the air. A cryptic relic appears in his bedroom. This archaic scroll hovers right in front of him, catching him off guard. He hesitates to touch it. What kind of insane power would wake up if he actually made contact? He decides to ask for tech support later. Suddenly, his eyes lock onto something strange across the room. The clock hits 9:50. Time is running out. Elsewhere, tension is rising as the 10 o'clock deadline looms. He remembers telling her to just sit tight until he got back. She had given him that sweet smile, but since she vanished, things feel off. The silence in the apartment is heavy. It is past 10, and a cold knot of anxiety forms. He is kicking himself for not getting her number while looking at a shelf. He looks at an old photo of his dad. If goblin blood is in him, it started with his father. Montai confirms his lineage goes back generations. Staring at that picture, our hero's mind starts to race. Did his father know the truth? A noise snaps him back to reality, and he drops into a combat stance, shouting for her. Silence. Meanwhile, in a dark alleyway, a terrified victim is running for his life. Suddenly, a shadow lunges, grabbing him by the throat. The beast drops its disguise, revealing a total nightmare. It unhinges its jaw and lets out a bone-chilling roar that rips through the night. Suddenly, a blinding beam of energy pierces the dark. Miles away, Somi huffs. This fight is a total grind. At this rate, she'll be bald. Trust me, you and I are going to want to see her take this beast down. All right, you and I are about to watch a shadow entity get absolutely wrecked by some brutal ground and pound. Its dark form is basically dissolving into nothing. Meanwhile, the survivor is just shaking, completely terrified by this insane supernatural showdown. Somi starts patching up the survivor, promising his friend will be just fine soon. The kid is crying from fear and relief while a massive shadow looms above them. Somi feels the shift, instantly turning to face a beast scaling the wall. It slams into the pavement, shaking everything. Then a bone-chilling warning finally comes. He mocks her clan honor, but Somi knows her savior is already coming. He just spits back that she is delusional, and having a sister like her is a total curse. He tells the victim it is just bad luck, lulling him into deep hypnosis and sleep. He ditched that skill years ago, ending the talk. 2 more demons are lurking nearby. He can feel their dark energy signatures. That makes 24 kills, all just weak puppets for a hidden master. 7 dead, 50 mangled. Somi is shaken, questioning the motive. Then she corrects herself. This wasn't for fun, it is a tactical advantage. Demons don't just hunt for sport, they feast on humans for the ultimate demonic power-up. Somi freezes horrified. She had never heard of such a grim ritual to boost a demon's strength. A memory triggers Mungai once said young demons were getting lazy. To them, Earth was just a playground until the festival approached. Now they are risking everything. If you are with Mungtai, you know the stakes. He understood the motive, but hated the messy execution. He prefers stealth. She calls him a coward, but he values surgical precision over loud chaos. Tell that to the bosses, Somi yells before a sudden realization hits her hard. I'm out, she says, vanishing into feathers. Meanwhile, Seo Choi stares at his open door in total confusion. He hadn't left it open. Behind him, a shadow creeps into the room. Pay attention here, this intruder thinks the kill is light work. A lethal strike is aimed right at our main character's back. But at the last second, Seo Choi's danger instinct screams. He dives aside, snatching the attacker's wrist in a blur of motion. Boom. He shatters the floor with a stomp, shocking the assassin. He had tracked every single move. With a violent spin, he hurls the beast away. Panting, he realizes that was a very close call. Standard goblin biology, not magic. He braces himself. Goblins never fall for the same trick twice. The balcony railing hangs in ruins as he catches his breath. Relieved, but still on high alert, he scans for the next threat, that icy chill. It is exactly like the day he was first bitten. Without that memory, he would be dead right now. Dust billows from a fresh crater in the asphalt. The impact was massive. Suddenly, he is pinned from behind. A cold voice whispers in his ear, "I put the humans to sleep." A neighborhood panic would be a real drag. He praises the goblin's energy before dragging him over the edge. They plummet. The demon's tail whips out, launching him further. Seo Choi thrashes in the grip, but the demon just gives a wicked grin. Like a rag doll, he is slammed into the earth, creating a massive crater. My bad, the demon laughs, landing near his broken body. The ground was weak anyway. The humans will just call this a freak accident. You and I saw that coming, right? Well, this demon sneers that Seo Choi should have died already as a creepy smirk plasters across his face. Suddenly, the colossal silhouette of a massive serpent manifests, radiating pure, suffocating pressure. The beast offers a merciful end. Let him be eaten whole. Noticing the terror, he scoffs, claiming this slaughter is a total favor. He flexes his god-tier status, warning that resistance only guarantees more agony. While doubling down on his twisted proposal, he dangles a cruel promise. Accept the deal, and his mother stays off the menu. He flaunts their photo to twist the knife. 0 words spoken. Seo Choi launches himself like a rocket, his fist connecting with a bone-shattering crunch against the demon's jaw, pouring every ounce of strength into his grip. He seizes the demon's collar, refusing to let his prey escape. The demon actually apologizes, admitting that threatening family was a low blow. He claims he was forced into being that dirty. Unleashing his true dark mana, the fiend reveals he just needed an excuse to snap. Staring him down, Seo Choi mutters that his venom is pretty mid. The demon taps his chest, revealing the catch: he needs physical contact to trigger the kill. He confesses his gift is useless against monsters. His hand starts shaking with a frantic tremor. Total paralysis hits Seo Choi instantly. The demon sneers, reminding him that in this dog-eat-dog world, the weak are just snacks. And that's where we leave it. Stick around, because you and I both know that Arm Artifact is about to change everything. Alright, stick with me, because Seo Choi is in deep trouble as his mother's photo hits the dirt while that massive serpent closes in. The demon mocks his past failures, but Seo Choi isn't giving up, fighting through the paralysis to find any tiny opening he can. The snake lunges for the killing blow, with jaws wide open, while Seo Choi bows his head, concentrating every bit of his remaining strength. Using every ounce of willpower left, he clenches his fist, focusing all his energy into a single devastating point. The serpent freezes as the pressure spikes, but it is too late. Seo Choi unleashes a massive explosive wave of pure force. The blast wipes out the area, leaving him gasping. Lungs burning, he struggles to stand while the explosion shreds the ceiling, leaving a giant crater in the parking deck above. Through the smoke, the snake hisses, barely surviving that close call. It charges back like a freight train, slamming into Seo Choi and sending him flying straight into the wall. Even the demon is shocked he could move, while poisoned as the beast starts stalking its prey again. Out of nowhere, the hilt of a strange blade appears, buried deep inside the monster's spine. The serpent pulls back in total shock, staring at a wound it never felt. Divine lightning of the supreme god crackles from the gash, and as a feather-shaped relic glows, light explodes from within the beast. The beast lets out a soul-piercing scream while white-hot energy completely consumes its massive body. A voice says his time is not up yet, as a mysterious masked figure appears and calls these monsters trash. Still impaled, the demon laughs at the dramatic entry, wondering how they managed to track him down so quickly. Now watch closely. The stranger draws his blade, and it is obvious this guy is no ordinary shaman. The demon bites his lip, knowing that if he keeps stalling, he will be heading straight to hell for good. That Pega kid is a pain, but if the other one shows up, he is toast, so he panics while holding his mangled hand. He is furious at himself for getting caught, but suddenly the masked man senses something coming. Something massive shifts as the demon spits out dark blood, and a terrifying abomination rises from the gore. He sneers about saving this for the festival as a massive titan steps in between them, a beast that was a legend in the West. He beams about its spiritual grade and tells them to enjoy his pet. It is quite the challenge, right? He bows out, claiming he has an appointment to finish eating Seo Choi's soul. Meanwhile, the monster opens its massive maw for a killing strike, but the masked man is much faster. You and I are watching a pro at work, as he blurs past the Titan like lightning, vaulting over it while the demon's jaw drops. Blink and you will miss it, but the masked man is already behind the demon, stabbing him until he collapses. Suchoi just watches in total shock as the stranger looms over him. He tells him to talk if he wants to stay alive, but once Suchoi asks what he is doing in this hellhole, the masked man's posture completely freezes up. No way, the man mutters in total disbelief while Suchoi's eyes go wide. He recognizes that voice and reaches for the face the mask falls, revealing that it is actually Yoon. Yoon is just as shocked, asking why Su is even there, but Su just sighs and says it is a long story. Together, they start making their way through the wreckage of the dark garage. Yoon checks the demon's body before rushing back to Su's side, sounding genuinely worried as he calls out to him. Yoon grabs him, wanting to know what is wrong while the demon dies nearby, but Seo tells him to just hold on a second. Recognizing an awakening ability, Yoon tells him to be quiet and stay put, while he watches the toxins dissolve. Suddenly the gashes and poison vanish, and you will be just as shocked as Yoon when you see Seo is regenerating at an absolutely insane speed. He looks back, catching a glimpse of a creepy flicker moving through the deep shadows. The demon's remains crawl away through the dirt in a desperate escape, leaving a bloody streak behind as it disappears into the void. The boys stare as Ian grumbles about letting their target slip right through their fingers. Outside, he checks on Seo, who hits him with a sassy comeback, asking him how he thinks he looks. Seo roasts his half-goblin friend for losing the prey, while Yoon curses himself for being way too slow. He finally gets the full picture, which is when Seo reveals the hidden truth behind that training facility. Yusin admits Seo would have called him crazy if he said anything earlier, but then he drops a total bombshell. So what do you and I make of this? Chaos ends in 6 months, but the human casualties are still rising. Alright, you and I are about to dive into a moment where everything changes for our main character. With a stone-cold expression, Yoon reveals the truth: demons are harvesting humans to crown a new king. Missing persons reports are through the roof lately. All signs point to this being their first big move. Suddenly, Yoon lunges at him, leaving Seo totally confused by the grab. Then boom, a massive blast hits them. Reeling from the ambush, smoke fills the air while Yoon screams for Seo in a voice of pure panic. Somi pops up with a clumsy apology to check on him, but Yoon draws his blade and warns her to freeze. Sensing his murderous intent, Somi backs off with wide eyes, absolutely terrified. To move a single inch, Yoon warns her that one more step means death. As Seo tries to intervene, but Yoon snaps back she is a demon. He admits she has followed the rules so far, but warns Seo that any future fallout is now his responsibility alone. He brings up the qualification again, asking if Seo truly understands the high stakes of this world. Yun reminds him these beasts eat humans for power. Gripping his sword, he declares Seo owes her nothing. Boiling with anger, he vows to never let them lay a single finger on his friend. Now pay attention here, this is where you and I see just how high the price for defying destiny really is for them. She knows she must act before a bloodbath starts, but taking on a high-tier shaman alone is way too risky. With fire in her eyes, she apologizes as a guardian. She must secure the target right now. Leveling his sword, Yoon notes she has ignored his threat. Suddenly, Seo Choi smacks his arm away with force. The impact sends Yoon stumbling back. In the chaos, Seo lunges forward to grab the fallen blade. He snatches the weapon before Yoon can even blink. While his friend recovers, Seo starts inspecting the steel. He spots strange, glowing engravings on the metal. Scrambling up, Yoon demands to know why Seo betrayed him. Seo calmly agrees that demons do indeed slaughter others just to evolve their power. Then he drops the truth he ate a demon today. Yoon freezes in horror, as Seo explains he did it to survive. He declares he will keep devouring demons to get stronger. Desperate, Yoon begs him to stop this madness. He argues his shaman powers are enough. He can protect Seo and his mother all on his own. Cutting him off, Seo slams the sword deep into the asphalt right between the two of them. Wait for it, because you and I are about to hear the most insane goal ever mentioned in this story. The following silence is deafening. Yoon is left totally speechless, his brain short-circuiting from the shock. Even Somi is stunned by the bold claim. Yoon asks if he is crazy, but Seo just shrugs it off. Tightening his grip, he says this is his only shot to stop his nightmares. He tells Yoon to stop looking sad. This is his life now. He would much rather be the predator than the prey. With unshakable resolve, he vows to see this through. Speechless, Yoon can only grit his teeth in pure frustration. Realizing the weight of the choice, Yoon sighs and hands the blade back to Seo Choi. Cross that line and I will end you myself, he growls. Seo accepts that failure means a death sentence. Finished, Yoon retrieves his mask from the mud. Turning back, he asks the girl for her name. I am Somi, she whispers as he puts the mask back on. He offers a dry apology for the intervention. Even demons have rules they cannot break. Invoking the chief shaman, he vows a massive bloodbath for every single person responsible. Catch you later, he tells Seo, promising his mom will be safe. Then he vanishes into the night. Trembling, she wonders if all shamans are this lethal. Seo replies that Yoon is just built different. He is a special case among monsters. Somi turns, accusing Goyo of stalking her. He admits he had to. Charging in headfirst was a death wish. He warns a mystic-level demon would have eaten her for lunch. Seo bows and Goyo recognizes the half-goblin. He begins his lecture on the biology of beastly demons. Most are just driven by instinct, but elite demons disguise themselves as mythical beasts to hide their true power. He reveals some entities even surpass their divine origins beings that once ruled over all forms of life. Ancient legends worshipped by both races. With a sharp grin, he finally drops the mystery. Call me Goyo. I am the hurdle you are destined to overcome, Seo Choi. Finally, we meet. And trust me, you and I just witnessed a meeting that will change everything. Stick around for more. You and I are jumping in as Smee's scream breaks the silence, trying to save her friend. She is barking orders at the demon, demanding to know what he wants with her buddy. Goyo just smirks. He grabs Seo's hand, finding the kid's vibe weirdly hilarious. He whispers to watch this before triggering a stolen skill. A spatial rift rips open, pulling them into the void. Smee lunges for the portal, but it is gone. Suddenly they land on the shores of a quiet lake. Seo staggers, his balance totally shot, struggling to stay upright. Goyo's impressed. Most people would be totally out of it after a sudden spatial warp like that. So are you eating me? Seo asks. Goyo shrugs it off casually, asking if the kid is a gamer instead. We're talking consoles and controllers now. Seo admits he was a middle school pro before high school life hit hard. Online multiplayer. Definitely not his thing. Hearing that, Goyo's face splits into a massive thrilled grin. Now pay attention, because here is where the calm lake trip turns into a total war zone. Suddenly, a massive jagged glacier erupts from the center of the lake. Seeing the giant ice spike, he sprints for the trees, but ice spears launch from the depths, chasing him like missiles. Those frozen shards explode, sending out a devastating shockwave everywhere. Goyo watches from a distance with a dark smile, noticing Seo's reflexes are insane. The demon totally saw that strike coming. Seo knows he can't keep running forever. It is time to fight back. Genuinely impressed, Goyo admits that, for a newbie, Seo is terrifyingly talented. His real secret weapon, an incredible ability to adapt mid-fight. After those past traps, his guard is now solid. His eyes sharpen with lethal intent. He's ready for whatever hell Goyo throws his way, remembering a key lesson. He finds his opening, lunging forward and pouring every bit of power he has into one massive surge. It is the hidden power of the Destroyer armor, a relic that blows up demonic energy. Ash swallows everything. That apartment fight taught him a hard lesson. You never celebrate until the body actually drops. He keeps his focus locked, refusing to relax. Suddenly, glowing orbs of doom come flying through the haze. He realizes he's finally getting a grip on his inner power. An electric jolt ignites deep inside his core. His energy is at 60%. That big hit cost 10, while the smaller bursts only used 3. He is worried that hitting 0 will leave him paralyzed again. As the fog clears, Goyo stands there fine. He admits he underestimated Seo's skills after the boy crushed the first phase effortlessly. Okay, let's pause. Seo's starting to realize something feels off, like this whole hunt is just an act. Goyo laughs at the idea of eating him. Instead, he asks if Seo understands what a true demon king represents. Picking royalty through a brutal brawl sounds crazy, but for demons it is a sacred and unbreakable tradition. Driven by primal instincts, these demons would spiral into pure madness without a ruler. Their ancestors created a safety net, the Demon King, a supreme power to stop their race from going extinct. This monarch has kept order for 10,000 years, making sure their species actually survives. Goyo explains the current ruler is a failure. Imagine a king banning demons from eating meat. Seo laughs it off, but Goyo reveals the demons actually listened. He explains how heavy that legacy really is. Staring him down, he warns Seo that their people are finally at their limit. Seo realizes another strict king will just start a revolt. Goyo warns that compliance is officially dead. Even with godlike power, the king can't stop a whole kingdom from rising up. That spark burns everything down. He hopes Seo understands the stakes. Traditionalists might kill the kid just for knowing these forbidden truths. Thinking of Dion, he sees where Seo gets all that defiant optimism from. Seo drops into a fighting stance, asking if he should take it back. Goyo admits he almost crushed him. Instead, he offers a partnership to rule together. Suchoi bluntly asks just how much power Goyo actually has. Doubting the claim, Goyo admits he's not the very top, but he towers over every other contender. Seo nods quietly and steps closer. He reaches out, offering a handshake to seal their new deal. Agreeing to the pact, he demands a vow to protect his followers. Goyo beams, knowing they'd get along perfectly. And that is where we leave it, a pact made, just to keep a conscience clean. Wild, right? Alright, you and I are jumping into a duel where every handshake is a trap, and dark energy is everywhere. Goyo just laughs at the main character's trash talk. He shouts that Su attacked first, using that handshake as bait. Su clings to his robes while his combat form reaches a whole new level of intensity. He burns through his final reserves. This isn't just survival instinct, it is a cold, calculated execution. With a violent pivot, he sends Goyo flying through the air. Without any hesitation, he delivers a strike with absolute surgical precision. The impact causes a massive explosion across the lake, sending steam and debris skyward. A shockwave of pure power ripples through the water. Collapsed on the grass, Suchoi gasps for air, wondering why his body is trembling so much. He is totally drained and knows he has hit his limit. After using every last drop of mana, Su looks up to see Goyo standing over him with a smug smirk. He praises the kid for trying, but notes the massive gap in their raw power was the real deal breaker. He asks if the boy has any final words. Su simply refuses, fully prepared for whatever dark consequences come his way. Meanwhile, Goyo looks his challenger in the eye and raises a devastating final fist. Don't expect me to beg. Suchoi growls through the pain. He ignores the agony, desperately looking for even the tiniest opening to strike back. Goyo sneers, mocking the boy for acting tough, while he can barely even keep his balance. Sweat beads on Suchoi's brow. Now pay attention, because here is where the vibe shifts completely. Goyo offers a friendly hand and says he passed. He laughs, genuinely impressed by the kid's incredible stamina. He explains the whole fight was just a test of his worth. Suchoi blinks, confused by this sudden promise of support, but Goyo confirms it. The terrifying night of demons is coming, and they are not exactly ready for it. A flashback shows a younger Goyo who always hated the mindless chaos of the demon world. Compared to that place, the human world is a peaceful paradise where people actually know how to relax. Their hobbies make life vibrant. Losing a world like this would be a total tragedy. Su understands the logic, but still does not get why Goyo is backing him specifically. Goyo does not even care about being the king. There is a catch. The strongest fighters all come from elite ancient clans. In this world, bloodline and heritage win every time. It is basically a rigged game. It is the ultimate silver spoon, he says. Su asks if his family is putting pressure on him. It is more like being choked, Goyo admits, describing the suffocating expectations of the full moon. These representatives have zero freedom. If they fail, the clan simply replaces them with a new puppet. Having your own family against you is brutal, but Suchoi realizes he's a different breed entirely. Goyo strikes a dramatic pose, shouting that Suchoi is someone special. He has talent without those clan shackles. As a crow flies by, Goyo insists Su is the only one who can do this. Wait up. He needs a moment to process these life-changing revelations. Goyo just grins at the kid's confusion. You and I saw that coming, right? Suddenly the peace is shattered as Semi drops from the sky and slams Goyo's head. Pure fury blazes in her eyes as her paw hits his arrogant face squarely. Suchoi stands frozen in shock, unable to even process the absolute chaos unfolding. Goyo is sent flying across the dark sky, crashing violently into the distant forest. Suchoi rushes to stop her, but Semi is already raining down a barrage of lethal feathers. A massive explosion rocks the trees. The boy approaches the smoking crater, searching for any sign of his rival. Relax, she huffs. The attack did not even land. That slippery snake already made his escape. Su is totally baffled. She explains that was not the real Goyo, just his darker snake-like personality. She explains the lore of the black tortoise, which started as a humble creature. Legend tells of a genius who mastered pure yin energy, eventually transcending every one of his physical limits. He ascended as the very first black tortoise. Now his descendants inherit that god-tier power. But becoming whole requires some truly brutal training. That snake-like persona is just a selfish, cold side effect. Pure yin energy makes that personality calculating and completely indifferent to the feelings and well-being of everyone around him. Usually the snake is just a submissive strategist, but for Goyo the situation is much more dangerous. His snake can hijack his body whenever it wants. It is why the higher-ups never trusted him. Suchoi stands up ready to move. He promises there won't be any trouble for the delay, trying to keep things polite. Semi stares at the wrecked balcony, terrified of how her mother will react to all the damage. Suddenly Mungai appears, promising a full restoration by dawn. Su's calm vibe is actually kind of jarring. And that's where we leave it. She tries to apologize, but the conversation's cut short. All right, stick with me because you and I are about to see a mystery guest crash this awkward meeting. He steps in making a snarky comment about how mortals live. Sewa actually likes the cozy vibe, but he spins around asking if she even belongs here. She admits she does not, explaining she was forced to come after Mang dragged her along. Sewa stares him down, demanding real answers. He finally gives in and explains the chaos from tonight. 50 kobolds ambush the city as bait to lure out Su and Smee. Smee questions why, but the truth is way worse. Seo was the mark. This is a deadlier game now as Mang reveals 200 people just vanished in a flash. The streets went cold that night. He thinks the real body count is over 500. Smee realizes at least 5 high-level demons were involved. The reality of the crime scene is truly grim. Now pay attention here. Foreign demons have breached the border to hunt humans, and she warns this massacre will not end easily. Not until the festival. Exams were weeks away, but time has run out. This is a major crisis. He offers a strange test right now, his face becoming deadly serious. Their mission is simple: wipe out every demon in Korea. The screen fades as dawn breaks. Yusin paces the streets, haunted by the way he abandoned his friend. Suddenly, Su Choi appears out of thin air. He jokes about finding his way to school, but his tone shifts. Inside a cafe, Yoon's scream shatters the peace. He explodes at Su Choi in total disbelief, demanding to know if his friend has actually lost his mind. Everyone stares as Su tells him to chill out. Su says he is fine and the deal's good. He can finally protect his mom. Yoon facepalms, asking Su if he even knows his own rank yet. Yoon sighs, explaining those are classifications. There are 5 tiers of demons, starting with the bottom level beasts. He says they are lethal, but they are mostly just like rabid predators. Mortals can handle them with gear, but anything higher is a total death sentence. Normal humans stand absolutely 0 chance. A demon rank has the power of 100 men. Su asks about the higher tiers next. Okay, I know what you are thinking, and yeah, mystic classes are 10 times deadlier. Pure walking catastrophes. Divine and spirit ranks do not even look at them. These new invaders are mystic level threats that we must face. Yoon asks Su what rank he thinks that snake was. It was barely even demon rank. If that thing actually focused its energy, we would be dead. Yet Su was almost lunch for a bottom tier weakling. He reminds Su he is just a low tier demon. Snap out of it and stay away. Su crosses his arms and challenges him to say that again. He is confident he can win a rematch because he is evolved now. He has mastered his combat flow and energy. He is ready to prove his brand new strength. Su apologizes, but Yoon is ready to beat some sense into him at the legendary Olympic arena. This iconic landmark hides a secret beneath it. Deep in the basement, Su Choi discovers a high-tech facility that leaves him speechless. Su wonders if his family owns this, but it is government-funded. Korea has always used elite shamans. Honestly, shamans might have actually built this entire nation themselves. The royal bloodline established a secret agency specifically to forge elite shamans centuries ago, and the state officially knows everything about this demonic threat. It is a secret world mortals ignore. Su squares up, daring Yoon to make a move. Yoon says all bets are off. SEO Choi watches him, confused because his hands are empty. No blade. He smirks, knowing that going barehanded is the only way this fight lasts a second. Without his relics, his power is cut in half, but he can still crush a high-tier demon. He warns that if Seo actually wins this, he will officially be more dangerous than a literal bloodthirsty monster. What is the holdup? Bring it. Yoon taunts him as Seo readies his opening move. Yoon looks on with ice-cold eyes. Su Choi explodes forward, closing the gap in a flash. He throws a heavy punch, but Yoon stops it midair, shutting down his momentum like it was nothing. He counters with a strike to the chest, following up with a barrage of lightning-fast jabs. A brutal hook hits Seo's jaw to finish the combo. Yoon gets ready for the final blow. He unleashes a devastating roundhouse kick, launching Su Choi across the room. The impact triggers a massive shockwave that levels the area. You and I just witnessed a total beatdown. Alright, you and I are about to see a clash that'll definitely leave a mark. On the shattered concrete, Seo admits his rival is a beast. He swipes away the mess with a smirk. You're like a main character out of some webtoon, he jokes. Meanwhile, Yoon looks down at his own knuckles. He realizes he's actually starting to hurt. If he hadn't coated his hands in mana, his bones would be dust. Seo can handle the heat, so the gloves are coming off. Yoon finally sees the truth. This guy's a total menace. Without warning, Seo Choi strikes first, blitzing toward him once again. He vaults into the air for a diving strike, but Yoon sidesteps the blow with effortless grace. Speed is up, but the moves are predictable, or so he thought. Suddenly, Seo's grip clamps onto Yoon's wrist. Caught off guard, Yun reacts instantly, pivoting his entire body to break the hold and retaliate. He drives a savage knee into Seo's face. The impact sends his head snapping back with sickening force. Using that momentum, he seizes Seo's arm and flips him over his shoulder. Mid-throw, Yun's energy surges. He manipulates his weight, executing a controlled descent toward the floor. He shatters the invisible bind holding him, regaining balance just before his boots hit the pavement. A plume of dust erupts upon landing. He emerges from the haze perfectly poised and ready for more. "Is that what I think it is?" Yun stammers. Seo Choi stabilizes the flickering energy in his palm. Pay attention here, because this is where his real potential wakes up. He's manifesting this power solo, but the odds are stacked against him. His body is holding up, but his combat stats are in the basement. His demonic reserves are bone dry. That previous showdown with Goyo left him running on fumes. Mana regeneration is a crawl in this realm. Ironically, being this tired is helping him tap into the zone. He'd conjured his weapon purely by instinct before. Now that same sensation is flooding back. Yun approaches unimpressed. "Your legendary weapon looks kinda mid," he taunts. Yun coils like a spring, then launches himself upward, tracking every one of Seo's movements from the air. This version of the blade feels fragile, but before he can react, Seo's strike connects with a roar. A violent burst of light consumes them. Yun throws up a crosslock, bracing for the impact. It's a heavy hit, but his energy shield holds firm. He hunkers down, playing the long game. He waits for Seo to burn out, but the pressure is insane. The ceiling starts to splinter. Seo Choi lashes out with a glowing whip. Right on schedule, he grins. Yun is totally lost. "You can't tank these hits forever," Seo chirps. He tightens his grip, the weapon humming with malice. It's smaller and weaker than before, but size doesn't matter when you can shapeshift the damn thing. Now watch this move, because it's about to get incredibly flashy. He blurs across the field as his weapon morphs into a heavy sphere cannonball. Yun catches the brunt of it. Teeth grit as he fights against the crushing weight of the blast. The force skids him back, carving trenches in the floor as a tsunami of energy washes over him. Not letting up for a second, Seo Choi resets his stance and vaults backward to reset the fight. Suddenly, Seo's strike detonates against the earth. Stunned, Yusin realizes the attack's lethality has doubled, all from one tiny adjustment. Twirling his blade, Seo readies his stance while Yusin snarls at him to quit the mind games. He claims this is a trial to gauge his demon-slaying potential. Speechless Yusin realizes every word is the cold truth. Smirking, Socho suggests that if he can't handle it, owning up to his blunder is an option. Fuming, Yusin barks back. He insists it's not his fault for playing outside the script. Glancing up, he questions if this is Seo's true intention. Yen warns the gloves are coming off, but Seo just sneers. Another strike hits the turf, triggering a violent detonation. Brandishing his steel, he unleashes a flurry of blows across the entire field. Violent strikes hammer into the arena floor. A storm of explosions ignites everywhere. As the tempo accelerates, Yusin struggles to evade the onslaught. It hits him. Seo is mimicking his rhythm with terrifying speed. With steady nerves, Seo crafts a devastating new technique. Is this another trick? With zero time to react, Yusin is slammed into the stone wall. The impact triggers a colossal blast, swallowing the zone in thick smoke. Shouting over the noise, Seo checks if Yusin is alive. He barely dodged by a hair's breadth. Nearby, the energy blade screams through the air with lethal velocity. Cornered, Yusin chants an ancient spell, summoning a spirit. He binds the spirit to his will, channeling the essence into a longbow to prepare a shimmering spirit arrow. Launched with thunderous force, the projectile streaks across the battlefield toward his rival. "Trust me, you and I need to see what happens when that tether finally snaps." Sensing the danger, Seo freezes. His weapon crumbles. You and I are watching him scramble to regain his footing. No time to waste, he summons a fresh blade to keep up the pressure. Yusin braces himself. He barely dives away from a deadly blast. He calls on a spirit to fight without his gear. This handicap is huge. Most of his top-tier spells are completely locked away for now. Seo hits the dirt, gripping his energy blade for a final charge. He struggles with the raw power. He fuses the energy into a glowing spirit sword. Seo rushes forward with his new weapon to finish this. The blades clash, triggering a massive explosion of pure spiritual energy. The spirit sword cuts through Seo's weapon like butter. But right before the final blow, he hesitates. He grits his teeth. Their bond means he has to follow through. Seo Choi preps one last move. Watch closely, Yusin flinches, and Seo Choi lands a brutal punch right to his jaw. Yusin hits the ground while Seo Choi just stands there, confused. Why did his friend throw the match? He says no way. While laying there, he explains he actually used his ultimate technique. That strike completely destroyed his own weapon. It was meant to kill demons, but it saw he was human. Still on the floor, he just groans that life isn't fair, and then everything goes black. Sun shines over the city as the morning rush starts up again. Yusin walks down the street with a big bandage on his face. He tells Seo to just say it. Seo Choi asks if his nose is ruined. He just laughs it off. He heals fast anyway. His face would have been toast if Seo hadn't pulled that punch. He admits the kid passed the test. Seo says thanks, but it was just part of their deal. Suddenly, Yusin hands him a mystery item. They look like tiny, colorful gourd bottles. Yusin explains that these are basically little portable spirit bombs. You just grip it and yell a command or just smash it on the ground. Seo worries about taking 3 of them. They must be a total nightmare to make with all that energy. Yusin is surprised he knew. Seo says the energy is obvious. It feels exactly like their big duel. These brightly colored gourds are actually sacred family artifacts. You and I know these aren't just souvenirs. They let anyone fire off devastating high-level spells. Shocked, Yusin grabs his hand. He can't believe Seo sensed the energy. Seo is just confused by this. Gripping his friend's hand tight, he realizes one thing is certain. Seo Choi is a total genius. Yun's jaw drops at the boy's insane aura. He's totally shook, but Seo has zero clue how powerful he is. Any master would beg to train him, but then reality hits. The kid carries a dark demon mark. He buries his face in his hands, totally spiraling. The elders will never accept this. It will get ugly. Not gonna lie, if it wasn't you, I would hate this too. Yusin sighs and shoves the gourds back. He warns that the road ahead is pure hell. Seo just scoffs. Did his friend become a psychic? Since his return date is a total mystery, Seo decides a fresh uniform is his #1 priority. He starts walking, noticing his feet have shrunk too. It is so cursed. Yoon imagines their classmates reacting. Looking at his new tiny body, Seo realizes his buddy is low-key, enjoying all this chaos. Checking his phone, Yoon realizes his stomach is screaming. It is definitely time to go grab food. Seo suggests hitting his place for that legendary bacon fried rice, but Yoon shuts him down. He's got a guest sleeping at home, plus he has a big meeting scheduled. Seo just nods. Yoon tells him not to let the stress win. Remembering their pact, Seo decides to rain check the meal. He looks away, shifting focus. Just keep your chin up and walk tall, Yoon advises his friend. The friends split up with a wave. Seo wanders into a new neighborhood, wondering if his GPS is broken. He stops in front of a massive steel gate. As he tries to read the sign, it creaks open. A man walks out, locking eyes with him. Right away, Seo senses a terrifying, heavy vibration. This guy is an absolute beast, a high-level demon. He just glides past into the night. Trust me, you and I are going to want to see who is behind that mysterious voice. Stick with me, you and I are about to meet Vice Chief Hong Rayon. Seo introduces himself with a bow, mentioning he was sent by Judge Mong Tai. She knows the deal and leads him inside. They head down a dark, heavy hallway that feels like it is pressing in on them. As they walk, shadows practically swallow them whole. His boots even splash into a literal puddle of liquid darkness. He looks up and his jaw drops. The creepy hallway opens into a stunning, glowing palace of pure light. Inside, the relaxing sound of pouring tea fills the air. Seo settles in, sipping his drink, while checking out the incredible room. He asks if they are still in Seoul. The air feels so crisp. She explains it is a pocket dimension tucked away from the human world. This hidden space is a halfway house for demons to adjust. Now pay attention, this is where Mong Tai's promise of a total game changer finally starts to make sense for our guy. Suddenly, 2 scrolls appear from thin air. At her desk, he asks about demon coins. She says most people just swap them for cold, hard cash. In the human world, 1 single coin equals 3 million won. Seo is absolutely stunned by that massive value. Fees are already covered, so Seo starts doing the math. His heart starts racing. He is basically sitting on a massive gold mine. She stands up, offering a tour of the premium gear he can buy. She calls for an assistant to bring out the goods. A heavy chest creaks open, revealing glowing, colorful demon pills. These are high-end energy boosters. Normally, a demon's recovery is trash in this realm, but using ancient methods, they have perfected the art of mana restoration. Seo is totally hooked. He asks if the colors matter, and she explains it is all about their power rank. From silver up to the elite tiers, she points to the black one, the ultimate recovery. Seo does not even hesitate. He wants that black pill right now. She warns him the kick is fast, and that crystal size and absorption are all that matter. Size comes with age, but absorption, well, that is pure natural talent. You cannot train a gift like that. She secretly thinks a half-demon will take days just to process this much raw energy. Seo just pops the pill immediately. He has no idea the power inside is about to completely overflow his entire system. 1 pill holds enough energy to fill his crystal 4 times over. Suddenly, a blinding light swallows him whole. Let that sink in for a second. A violent explosion of energy rips through the palace, and the power perfectly matches his crystal size. The lady is left completely floored. She shrieks that something like this should be impossible. In just seconds, he swallowed more energy than his crystal was ever supposed to handle. Drenched in sweat, he admits this power feels strangely familiar. Moments ago, a massive surge of power pushed him far beyond his limits, exactly like his third day as a demon. A peaceful vibe fills the air until an attendant arrives, bottle in hand, politely asking the guest if he enjoyed the wine. Dong-hu beams, mentioning the vintage was picked specifically for this special visit. The young master scoffed, calling it just decent. He sneers at being served by a man demanding the lady's presence and taking it as an insult. A nervous Dong-hu begs for patience, stuttering that an urgent matter must have held her up. The truth finally slips out. She is hosting a special guest handpicked by Judge Mong-tai himself. Hearing the guest is just a half-goblin, the young master scoffs, confused why trash like that gets any priority. Mong-tai is obsessed with that lineage, refusing to admit the boy is a demon while questioning his stay. Met with cold silence, the young master sneers, asking if they are bored of playing servant yet. He mocks the idea of offending a half-demon, smirking as he brings up the dirty rumors about this place. House Yanghoi is just a den of mutts, miserable half-breeds rejected by both the human and demon worlds. Gripping his robes, he dismisses their struggle as a desperate survival tactic, while flashing a cruel, predatory grin. You will never be true demons, he spits, locking eyes with Dong-hu to demand that he agree. Dong-hu simply notes that outcasts like them cannot see their own destiny while taking a slow sip. Bored by the stoic answer, the young master sighs, asking when he can finally leave this place. Dong-hu promises everything ends today, detailing the final steps for his new identity and home. They rushed because he is supposedly a rare protector of humanity. Laughing, the master clarifies he does not save humans out of kindness. He has his own selfish reasons. This is his big shot at the grand festival, proving he is just as talented as his older brothers. He is just the younger one. Slamming his cup down, he demands the respect a real candidate deserves. As Dong-hu gets up, the young master stops him, claiming he has a special task for the lady. And trust me, you and I are going to want to see this. He wants Hong Rayon serving right by his side, no distractions allowed. Stick with me, you're about to see this noble lose his mind. He's way too busy hunting demons to deal with merchants, and he definitely doesn't repeat himself. Dong-hu starts a message for Hong Ryan, but a massive explosion suddenly cuts him off. Startled by the blast, both men look toward the window. Outside, it's total chaos. The roof next door is literally collapsing. The young master is completely caught off guard. They feel the ground shake. Philosophy dictates energy flows like water, making life feel like a shallow puddle. Water rises and falls as a cosmic law for every soul, human or demon. A vessel can only hold so much. Seo Choi approaches the fallen woman, offering a quick apology for the sudden violent blast. Reeling, she marvels at the pill's power. He feels unstoppable, like he could crush the whole world. Dazed, she asks what caused such insane destruction. Suddenly, the young master storms in, screaming about the boy's lack of manners for ruining the art piece. Panicking, she rushes forward to take full accountability. "Shut it," he snaps, silencing her right in the middle of her plea. Watch closely, he isn't a fool. He felt the kid's demonic aura in that blast. Does she think he'll just ignore this mess? Hong Ryan bows low as Seo Choi slowly turns around. He admits he hasn't mastered his demonic output yet, offering a half-hearted apology for the chaos. The master smirks, warning that he hates the brat's arrogant tone. The master demands a repeat. Grinning, Seo Choi offers an apology with a twist. He's sorry for the blast, but calls him a total loser instead. The master snaps and attacks. A flick of his fingers sends a shockwave, slamming into Seo Choi, blasting him into the stone courtyard as rubble flies. Hong Ryan watches the destruction frozen. "Stay out of this," the master warns. This is a lesson in manners. As Socho recovers, the master strikes his face again with another brutal blow. Hong Rayon lunges forward, screaming for peace, but invisible strikes hammer her body instead. She collapses, coughing up blood. The master sighs, annoyed she interfered. He claims she's just a broken soul. She's confused as the young master unveils his secret technique. It is his clan's forbidden art, and now he demands Seo Neil. The boy spits an insult. He slams the master for preaching manners while attacking like a coward. Squaring up, he decides the master needs schooling. Challenge accepted with a sneer. He promises a world of pain. Immediately, Seo Choi parries every strike effortlessly. You and I can see the shock. He's shutting down the water magic. He saw the trick. Now, every droplet in the air is a weapon he can use against him. This vibe feels familiar. It reminds him of a stronger foe he crushed yesterday. He scoffs, calling the master a joke. Don't take it personally, he smirks. As his opponent freezes, Sue's aura explodes. The brat snarls out a nasty slur. Fury burns through his veins as Su explodes forward to end this game. He charges like a lightning bolt, his eyes dissecting every movement of his enemy's trash energy control. He slips the blow, mocking the predictable attack. He's paralyzed, then a massive gut punch lands. Hung Ran watches in horror. SEO calls the loser weak. Silence. Impossible. This unknown demon just dismantled an elite technique. He predicted the flow, masking his own strike until the very last second. A sudden shift in power, a decisive blow slams the young master into the dirt. Seo Choi stands tall. She can't believe this guy only appeared 4 days ago. How could a rookie be this deadly? His battle IQ is on a different level. Seo demands an apology with no excuses. On the ground, the young master trembles in terror, totally broken. Seo points to the girl, reminding him she only wanted the violence to stop. He orders the brat to crawl and beg with a cold smirk, so Choi looms over him like death. The brat can't even breathe. Before he can squeak, Seo vanishes in a blur and shatters an incoming crystal mid-air. You and I just watched a masterclass in combat. Let's see what happens next as he dodges by a hair. Alright, you and I are jumping right into the heat as he slams his fist down, shattering the earth in a massive shockwave. The young master gets launched straight through a roof, coughing up blood as he collapses onto the broken floorboards. He crawls back up with a twisted smile, ready to reveal his true horror. Poor Su has blood leaking from his eyes. The water pressure is being cranked up to a lethal level, turning it into a sharp liquid blade. He is injecting water into Su's veins like a slow-acting poison. Su barely stays upright while the noble explains his cruel trap. Even demon healing cannot touch these toxins. Su coughs up crimson, feeling his internal organs starting to fail. He admits he made a mistake, but he wonders if this power is purely from blood or something way more monstrous. Now watch closely as Hungry In looks on while this absolute nightmare scenario begins to swirl with massive amounts of water. The young master vows to show true demon wrath, but Seo Choi forces himself up, ignoring ranks and bloodlines entirely. With eyes burning with pure hate, Seo Choi calls him out for what he is absolute utter trash. Wait, the young master's healing already. Fine, he prepares his ultimate technique, pouring everything into one final lethal kill. Water gathers from every corner, compressing into a dense, heavy weapon that looks absolutely terrifying. Physics do not even apply here. The impact of this strike is going to hit like a high-speed freight train, hurling himself backward. Such Choi braces for the massive onslaught. Suddenly, a strange crimson skill awakens within his very veins. Danger vanishes as he focuses on his blade. Using his combat insights, he forges the ultimate shield to survive the hit. That Hydrosphere hurtles forward with lethal momentum. He greets the strike, his stance echoing the ghost of a legendary master. Precision is not the goal here. Instead, he funnels every ounce of raw power, fixating only on pure, unadulterated destruction. Meanwhile, his demon crystal surges with chaotic, blinding energy. You saw that right. With mana overflowing, he cleaves that massive orb in two, turning the deluge into a violent, erupting mist. The young master stares in total horror. The waves bypassed Su, entirely leaving him standing there, completely untouched. Paralyzed by shock, the noble stands in the wreckage. The landscape is a flooded wasteland as he scans the ruin. The brat searches for his vanished foe, but then a chilling sound echoes from his blind spot. Whipping around, he finds Su Choi lurking like a shadow. Su mocks him, asking if energy can really regrow limbs. With a wicked grin, Su strikes his blade, singing a song of retribution. No more holding back, he growls. The young master freezes, trapped in a predator's icy gaze. A severed hand splashes into the crimson-tinged tide. Limbless, the noble crumples into the murky depths. Su towers over him, mocking his inability to handle the pain. Looming close, Su's eyes burn with cold indifference as the noble grovels for his life. With zero hesitation, he slams a brutal kick into the brat, launching him through a shack like a piece of trash. A vision of his clan's divine statue flashes before his eyes. Reality finally bites as he lies broken on the ground. Su demands his long-awaited apology. Desperate, the brat reaches out as if he is begging for some kind of salvation. I am sorry, he wails, but his eyes are not on Su. He is gesturing toward his own chest. Su scoffs, claiming the debt is cleared. That apology belongs to the girl you trampled. Now give her a deep bow. With a lethal glare, Su asks if the lesson finally sank in, or if he wants another round of pain. Defeated, the noble crawls toward the woman. She watches, completely dumbfounded by the sight of him begging. Offering a low bow, he begs forgiveness for his arrogance. Then the atmosphere shifts as a parched voice calls from inside. A quiet room asks for water. Sola yawns, realizing the house is empty and wondering what trouble he has found. A mysterious white-haired visitor waits patiently for the boy's return, looking shocked by the humble surroundings. Director Moryong admits this is his first trip in 10 years. His assistant offers excuses, but Moryong waves them off. It was not your failure, he sighs. I simply misjudged the potential of that kid. He checks on Hongyong, relieved her wounds are shallow. Still, she feels guilty about the mayhem and the secret pill. So, where is our little guest? He asks. Far from the drama, Sue is busy recovering with a massive feast. In solitude, he replays the slaughter. This was not like his previous out-of-control rampages. This time his body actually obeyed. Even as power surged, his mind remained sharp and in total control. With the surplus energy spent, his crystal cools and his mind finally anchors back. He stares at his hands, reeling. So what do you and I think? That guy was a monster, so he definitely deserved it. Alright, you and I are starting a story where limbs must fall to break a curse, and the memory of it actually thrills him. A sudden knock breaks his train of thought. A gentle voice asks to enter, and he tells them to come in. The door creaks as Hongyang walks toward the table, looking incredibly nervous. Suchoi asks her if she is okay. She smiles weakly, claiming her wounds are just scratches. He scoffs, pointing out that she was literally coughing up blood just now. Shaking with fear, she bows low and begs for mercy. She blames her poor judgment, but he is not buying it. He admits he is the one who destroyed the roof. Guilt-ridden, she confesses that giving him that cursed black pill was her mistake. Then comes the punchline. A standard silver or gold pill would have worked just fine. He completely freezes. Was this just a pricey scam to drain his pockets? Suddenly, her biggest secret finally spills out. She is a half-demon, born from a forbidden romance. These mixed bloodlines have actually been around for a long time. She is stuck in between worlds, neither human nor demon. She can feel power, but has no way to store it. It leaves her with a permanent burning thirst for energy. No matter how much essence she absorbs, she always feels empty. Even powerful demon pills do nothing for her kind. I was just jealous, she whispers. To her, he is a living miracle, a human warrior with the overwhelming power of a high-tier demon. Bitter that he has the strength she craves, she let her jealousy take over and played him for a fool. She bows down low for her sin of lying. Suddenly, a cold voice cuts through the air, mocking her desperate apology. Moryong steps out, lecturing her that begging for a punishment is just a cowardly way to avoid real responsibility. Startled, they spin around to face the intruder. With a calm look, the man steps forward to introduce himself. He says his name is Moryong. He apologizes for the chaos before telling the girl to leave so they can talk. He promises to look after the guest personally. He shows her mercy, telling her to stop feeling guilty for now. But the main character is not letting the money go. He demands a full refund right now. Director Moryong bows with deep respect. Grateful for the mercy, the girl gives a final thanks and disappears into the shadows. She was not that bad, he thinks. Shifting his focus back to the director, he decides it is time for business. He calls for a mediator, but Mang drops a bombshell. The punk he beat up is the heir to a prestigious clan. Munching on a snack, he just shrugs and says the kid was weak. Now pay attention, because Moryong warns that the kid will twist the story. To stop a war, the director suggests a formal meeting. Suchoi appreciates the gesture, but shuts it down immediately. He is not interested in politics or favors. Do not get your hands dirty for me, he says coolly. If that clan wants a fight, they can come get it. That brat chose violence instead of apologizing and paid the price. He only fought because he was forced to. He wants no apologies, preferring to settle scores on his own terms. You and I know that older brothers are usually bad news. These guys are monsters and way more bloodthirsty than before. He does not flinch. He has seen much worse nightmares. With a sharp look, he finally drops his ultimate endgame. I will fight anyone to become the Demon King, he declares. The director is stunned by his ambition. You do not just say that, but the boy is dead serious. He knows this path only ends in blood. Moryong sees the iron resolve in his eyes. Meanwhile, the boy just keeps snacking like he did not declare war. He admits that the thought of such terrifying demons actually gives him the creeps. Moryong asks if he plans to stop them. Suchoi just laughs it off as a fantasy. Still, the director is captivated by this kid's unpredictable nature. Moryong studies him while searching through his own robes. He slams a mysterious object onto the table with a heavy thud. Suchoi stares at it with curiosity. Take this as an olive branch, Mang says, betting on his potential. Outside, darkness begins to swallow the city skyline. Night has officially claimed the streets outside the massive skyscraper. Finally back home, he sighs over the grueling day. Suddenly, a sharp voice asks what took him so long. He fumbles for an excuse, but Seo steps forward, cutting him off with a knowing look. Forget the time, she says. Fresh intel just dropped. His ears perk up. This was exactly the news he had been waiting for. He tries being nice to the bird on her shoulder, but gets a face full of wings. Use your brain, that is not SM, she scoffs. And that is where we leave it. You and I need to see what this bird does next. All right, you and I are diving into a story where Smee is sensitive about her feathers, leaving him nursing a stinging cheek. Turns out that aggressive bird was a high-speed messenger sent by Smee herself, and the intel it is absolutely chilling. Last month's disappearances are all clustered in the city's darkest corners. These aren't just zones, they are active hunting grounds. He grabs his gear to launch a raid tonight, but she stops him. Apparently, there is one more crucial preparation to make. He nods, ready to lock in. Then, bam, a brutal right hook connects squarely with his jaw. She points out that unannounced guests don't get 5-star service, especially while scoffing at his sweaty hoodie. Ignoring his whining, she demands a shopping spree. In the city, Seol-hoo starts questioning if this mall is actually prestigious. Now pay attention, because this mid-tier mall is his first retail mission, and Seol-hoo is a total nervous wreck. He has always wanted to be stylish, but hesitated. Fear usually paralyzed his wallet, and he promised to wait until he slimmed down. Now he is finally seizing his long-awaited dream. Totally hyped, he offers her a blank check as they step inside. He braces for impact like the total retail rookie he is. One glance at a price tag has him reeling. A clerk calls him a lucky boyfriend while she struts through the aisles. Luxury prices mean zero to her, leaving everyone baffled. She emerges completely transformed. The clerk gushes, and while stuttering, he has to admit she looks incredible. The total cost leaves him paralyzed. He sighs and moves to store 2, but she still demands even more. She pulls him into her personal space, demanding his hands.